Hi everyone, Animal Girl here, back with another episode of TV Talk. It's Friday, and that means it's Agent Carter Day. And this week's episode was Bridge and Tunnel Part 2. Peggy Carter continues to look for evidence to prove that Howard Stark is being framed for treason, while trying to keep her activities secret from the rest of the SSR, or Strategic Scientific Reserve. And also while trying to keep Edward Jarvis from being a suspect within the investigation. Neither of which is very easy, considering she has to sneak around within her own office to get the information. And it's not something she's all that comfortable with, although considering everyone sees her as a secretary, it is somewhat easy for her to get what she needs and to hear information, since they don't seem to know she's there. However, things become complicated when she learns that there may be a photograph of a blonde woman who was seen at the same club as a suspect that the SSR had, who was found dead. And that blonde was, of course, Peggy, wearing a blonde wig so she wouldn't be recognized. Of course, she was not the one who killed the man, it was someone else. Also, following the death of her roommate, Colleen, Peggy is looking for a new place to stay, and her friend Aggie is pushing her home, a boarding house known as the Griffith Hotel for Women, as a wonderful place to stay. Now, I don't want to give away too much information into what happens. Just take my word for it. It's a really good episode and a really good follow-up to not only part 1 of Bridge and Tunnel, but also to the events of Captain America. And it sets up the series very nice, this Agent Carter series very nicely, or at least the first season of it. Okay, things I liked about this episode. First off, I liked the storyline. I felt it was very easy to follow, and they didn't throw too much in there to be distracting, despite the fact that it was technically a 2-hour premiere. Number 2, I do like spy and cops shows, and this is kind of a little bit of each, though it is more of a spy show. So it has props from that. Also, I like Peggy, considering the fact that this basically takes place in the 1940s, early 1950s, like right after World War II. Peggy is basically working in a position that was primarily held by men, and she is really, outside the secretaries, the only female we really see within the SSR. So she is in a very unique position. Although she doesn't always get to play with the boys, so to speak, as I mentioned earlier, they do see her as more of a glorified secretary. But we'll get into that later. But it's very, you have to understand, at this point in history, women were just really starting to get out of the home even after they were married and work. Up to prior to World War II, women were expected to either stay with mom and dad until they were married, and then when they were old enough to get married and rely on the support of their husband while they and he went to work and earned the money while they stayed at home and took care of the house and the kids. The 40s is really when a lot of that started to change, because women filled the role during World War II in the factories and whatnot while the men were at war, and a lot of them decided, hey, I like going out and earning money to support my family. I don't like how you said it was my patriotic duty to come and work outside the home, and now that the men are back, I have to go back home and go back to what I was doing beforehand. So a lot of that really started to change here. And Peggy was really right at the beginning of it as she was working with the SSR during the war. So I really like her. I feel like she's a very good role model for young girls and young women. So, and that's going to be a theme throughout these Agent Carter videos. She's really you're gonna really pop up, and it's gonna pop up very often. That is one of the things I love about the episode. Is just Peggy Carter, because the show is about her, but she's just such a role model, especially considering the time period that this TV show takes place in. Okay, things I didn't like about this episode, and really right now, it's just how the SSR really treats Peggy, with the exception of Agent Sousa. As I mentioned before, they really treat her as a glorified secretary, and it's not just them. When she's called to an research facility that was at odds with Howard Stark, even the director there treats her like she's a secretary. So, I really don't like that. Again, yeah, it's the time period. That's kind of how women in the workplace were treated. And, it's a different time period now where, we're treated with some respect. So, it's a little different. And, for me, coming from a place where I work, I'm treated with the same amount of respect as the guys I work with, to watch this woman who's basically doing the same job as the men she works with and is being treated like a secretary. It's kind of like, I don't like that, but that's the one thing that's going to be like my one pet peeve through the whole first season is this. I mean, other things I didn't like will pop up throughout here, but this is the major one, and you will see it periodically. It changes in season 2, but this is kind of the one thing I do, especially considering how integral she was to Captain America and the Howling Commandos during World War II, where she was treated with respect by them and by the soldiers, and then she comes back to America and her own co-workers just don't treat her with respect. I'm sorry if I'm ranting, but that's just the one thing that really, with this first season, really, with season 1 of this series, that really ticks me off. It's like really only Sousa and Jarvis and Howard really show her, or they're really the only men that show her the respect that she really deserves. Well, and the Howling Commandos, but we'll get to that later when we get to the episode that they're in. Yes, they're coming up. No, I am not going to tell you what episode. If you haven't seen the show yet, you're just going to have to wait and see. But I will get to it, so don't worry about it. Okay, question of the week. What did you think of the Griffith Hotel for Women and the Griffith Hotel for Women, which is the apartment building where Peggy ends up living for the first season? Please leave your answers in the comment section. Also, you will notice that in 9 weeks, I will have an opening within my Thursday TV talks, as we will be coming to the end of Big O, and I would just like to know what you guys would like me to do a review on. Your choices are Knights of the Zodiac, Once Upon a Time, Bidden, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Also, you will notice that in 8 weeks, there will be an opening on Monday for a TV talk series. And I would just like your guys' opinion on what that review should be on. So your choices are Game of Thrones, Fruit Baskets, Superman the Animated Series, and Mountain Monsters. I will have little like if you want this comments in the comment section. All you have to do is just like or love whichever episode you want for Thursday and whichever episode you want for Monday, and whichever one gets the most votes the week before is the one that I will do. Please note that you have until Monday, September 11th to cast your votes for Monday's TV Talk series and Thursday, September 21st, to cast your votes for Thursday's next TV Talk series. As Tuesday, September 12th, I will be announcing the winner for Monday's TV Talk series, and Friday, September 22nd, I will be announcing the winner for Thursday's new TV Talk series. Also, please note that in the event of a tie between two or more of the choices for Thursday or two or more of the choices for Monday, or no votes at all, I have the discretion to pick whichever one I want to do. So please cast your votes and make your voices known. And I promise you, if I get enough votes for a certain episode, that's the one I'll do. If not, I'll pick one. It will be one from this list, but I'll pick one if I don't get any votes. So, you know, if you don't want me to do that, please make your voices known. Also, please note that all the pictures seen within this video belong to their respective artists. I own nothing. Okay, other Agent Carter, please check out my other Agent Carter videos, and of course there's only one right now, which is the first part of Bridge and Tunnel. Also check out my other TV Talk videos, which are all listed right there. You will see 2 new ones have been added to the list. Touched by an Angel, which debuted last Saturday, and Walker, Texas Ranger, which actually debuted 2 days ago, so check out those, as well as Dragons, Big O, and Star Wars. Also, please check out my other videos. The categories are listed right there, and there's also my Last Unicorn 5 subscriber special video, which is listed there as well. Thank you for watching, and have a very nice day. And before I sign off, I would just like to say one thing, and that is I apologize for this being uploaded late. I had to work an 8-hour shift, and I just did not have time to watch Agent Carter and do a review before I went into work. So that's why it's being done late. So once again, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.